Hi guys, I have another video on an oil today, and that is Marula oil. I get a lot of questions about Marula oil for hair and skin, so I thought I would talk about this highly touted oil for hair and skincare in today's video. Marula oil comes from parts of the plant of the tree Sclerochira berea. It is a native plant to southern Africa. The trees actually grow wild, but at one point they were pretty rare. Now they are cultivated, so we have more of them. And they bear fruit, and the fruit ferments, and elephants love to eat the fermented fruit. And it's kind of a, I don't know, urban legend myth that the elephants, in consuming this fermented fruit, get drunk and act a little loopy, hence the name of the brand Drunk Elephant, which uses Marula oil in, I think, all of the products in their line. I've reviewed Drunk Elephant products before for you guys, so check those videos out if you are at all interested. But Marula has been a food source in these cultures for many years. Eat the fruit. Each fruit contains a hard brown nut. Within the nut there are these pliable white kernels within the core of the nut. And the Marula oil is actually primarily extracted from the kernels, but it also can be extracted from the husk that surrounds the seed. There's definitely a fruity floral scent to Marula oil if you've ever used it. The only one that I have used that's just straight Marula oil is the Drunk Elephant Marula oil when I was trying out all of those products for you guys, and it definitely has a kind of a light fruity floral scent to it. Marula oil, though, is rich in proteins. So that being said, because it is rich in proteins, it's thought to potentially be a good oil to use in your hair care, because when we use products that have proteins in them, it can kind of deposit on the hair shaft and transiently strengthen the hair. So if you're somebody who has hair breakage, Marula oil is potentially a good oil to consider. And it has a very nice lightweight texture. I noticed that when I used it myself, when I used the Drunk Elephant one, that it wasn't particularly greasy. So it's appealing to people with oily prone, acne prone skin, because they have more oil on their skin at baseline, and so products can tend to feel heavy and greasy, particularly oils, and the idea of using an oil in their skincare is off-putting to them, but this one is much more lightweight than most other oils. So I talked about it being rich in proteins, but it also has the components of proteins, which are amino acids. It's rich in amino acids L-arginine and glutamic acid. This is important because amino acids by themselves in skincare products or in oils can function as humectants, meaning they hold on to water in the skin. Marula oil is very rich in fatty acids, as are most oils. It's got palmitic acid, stearic acid, oleic acid, and myristic acid. These fatty acids are emollients, meaning they smooth the edges of the skin cells and they soften the skin cells. And then another beneficial property within Marula oil is it is rich in antioxidants, phenolic compounds like vitamin E and vitamin C. Marula oil contains both of those. And these are really important, interesting ingredients to be applying to your skin or your hair, because in theory, they can help to get rid of free radicals that cause damage in our skin and to our hair. These free radicals are generated from exposure to environmental things like pollution or ultraviolet radiation, tobacco smoke. And so having antioxidants is always kind of interest in skincare and skincare marketing for the theoretical potential for them to scavenge these damaging free radicals. I say theoretical because we know that antioxidants in skincare products or oils, they're not very stable, and a lot of the times what winds up happening is that they've kind of degraded by the time you put them on your skin, and they don't really have much free radical scavenging ability. And it's also a really hard thing to objectively measure. Assays for free radical damage and the ability to scavenge free radicals, they all have a lot of limitations to them. And by assays, I mean the experimental scientific methods that are used to assess how well something functions as an antioxidant. These methods, they all have their limitations. It's been some time since I've been in the lab I used to do laboratory science a long time ago, so maybe some of these methods have changed. They've got newer methods that I'm just not familiar with, but by and large, as best I know, they do suffer many limitations. And so it's hard to draw meaningful conclusions about how great these are in terms of applying them to the skin. And on that note, we don't have any clinical studies of using marula oil in actual people. So we don't have studies of people using marula oil versus any other oil or any other moisturizer and showing, for example, that they have decreased wrinkles and fine lines, they have decreased markers in the skin of oxidative damage. I mean, that would be more compelling, but we don't have that information. We just have marketing claims about marula oil. So you might be curious as to how to go about using marula oil. It can be used on the face. That's how I used it actually, to try it out for you guys, the Drunk Elephant one. Like I said, it's very lightweight, so I think it's appealing to people with acne-prone skin, but unfortunately, it's not the most comprehensive of a moisturizer by itself. I think it's great that Drunk Elephant formulated it into most of their products, like their moisturizers, but just using the oil by itself, I never found offered much long-standing benefit. Oils by themselves usually just function as emollients mostly. As I said, this is really rich in fatty acids. This particular oil does have some humectants, which are ingredients that are important in moisturizers for adding hydration, but it's not the most occlusive oil, meaning it's not going to really seal in transepidermal water loss. Oils, by the way, really don't have much occlusivity, and they're not, as a result, they're not great standalone moisturizers. Some oils even have been shown to increase transepidermal water loss and worsen dryness, namely olive oil. So some oils probably are better than others, but by and large, it's better to choose a product that contains your oil of interest, not only because the oil will be better served in a more comprehensive package as in a moisturizer, but also these products will then add other ingredients to stabilize the oil and prevent degradation. There'll be ingredients in there that can function as stabilizers to maybe hold on to some of that antioxidant ability. So it is my opinion that you're better served just choosing a product that has the ingredient formulated into it. And as I said, the only products that I have ever tried really to any great duration are the Drunk Elephant ones, and you guys can watch my review on that. I mean, they're expensive, and you know, I wasn't that blown away by any of them, but I did really like their Proteini polypeptide cream, and I definitely think that that would not be a bad one to consider. And if you have oily, acne-prone skin, you may like the consistency, that nice lightweight texture. Maybe you just have some dryness, you know, and you want to smooth out the surface of your skin before you put on makeup. I think this would be a good one to choose. One area though that I think marula oil really can shine, so to speak, is in helping the shininess and luminosity of your hair, particularly if you have long, straight hair. I personally used it myself on my hair and thought it, you know, yielded some nice results as far as reducing dryness, brittleness, hair breakage, and kind of improving the look of split ends. And one of the reasons why you might like using a few drops of marula oil on your hair is, like I said, it's pretty lightweight, so it's not going to it doesn't weigh down your hair, but it's got proteins in it that can deposit on the hair shaft and strengthen the hair. And so if you're somebody who heat styles your hair in particular, this can potentially help in reducing damage from heat styling, hair breakage, frizziness, and those sort of dry hair shaft outcomes. Marula oil has great potential for improving the look of your hair. That being said, what are the downfalls of using marula oil? Using oils on your skin, no matter the oil, always comes with a risk of exacerbating a skin condition that is related to overgrowth of malassezia. Malassezia is a yeast that lives on everyone's skin, and it thrives in oily surfaces, and so when you use oils on your skin, sometimes it can get too comfortable and can exacerbate malassezia-associated skin conditions. These include seborrheic dermatitis, those scaly, flaky patches on the face, and its cousin skin condition, dandruff in the scalp. So if you leave oils on your scalp, you run the risk of developing dandruff, actually. Also on the body, you can develop rashes called tinea versicolor, which are patches of dark and light, kind of scaly brown ovals that come and go and get worse oftentimes with sweating. Using an oil on your body as a moisturizer can exacerbate those. Also, rosacea can be, to a certain extent, worsened by too comfortable of a hot environment for malassezia. And then lastly, fungal acne. I have videos on all of these skin conditions where I go more into detail, but remember, these are conditions that are aggravated by malassezia, and you don't want to make it too comfortable by putting oils on your skin or leaving oils on the skin. The last place in your skincare routine where I think oils by themselves, marula oil in particular, can be useful is to put it around your cuticles to soften the cuticles, particularly if you get hangnails, you just don't like the appearance of the cuticles. It can really brighten up that area, just make the skin around that area smoother, softer, more comfortable. And so that is another way in which I use marula oil, and I think it can be useful. Those are just some of the ways in which marula oil might be helpful to you for hair care, skin care, and nails. I've only ever used the Drunk Elephant one solely for the purpose of reviewing the brand for you guys. So I know that one's really expensive, and I hate to tell you guys that that's the one you have to use, because honestly with skincare products there's no standardization, so that one actually could be the worst one on the market. It's hard to say for sure. So those of you out there who use marula oil consistently, comment below what products or brands you use and what sort of results have you seen. I would love to know. But hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.